speak Yiddish, have the right to protect themselves, which is true. Every person should be able to protect themselves. It's just that the American people or the hierarchy are putting their finger on the scale, and they're not acting as fair partners in this situation, or in most situations that they get involved with. And the US is complicit in this war because they started this back in 1947 or 42, excuse me, my history. So um, when you look at the airwaves, it's always about, we support Israel, we support Israel. So when you look at that statement, you have to look at what the full statement is. And the full statement is, I support Israel in its abduction, in its brutality, in its cruelty, in its stealing and raping and abusing of the Palestinian people. And we have other stories regarding this, but that's essentially what the American political people are saying, but they're just not fully saying the full sentence. And we don't have many press members with the cojones to hold the political people's feet to the fire, because they don't have the cojones to say the full sentence, or what do you actually mean. And I'm not going to mention the members of the press or what show they have on MSNBC at 12 o'clock. I'm not going to mention their names, but they think they're smart and intelligent. But until they actually hold the people to the fire and say the full statement, I'm done with you. So that's my statement on this particular item.
Okay. Lamar, explain to people what you mean when you say the Yiddish people. A lot of people don't get what you're talking about on that.
Okay. The Yiddish is a language. And if you take a look at, or if you there's a different type of practice of Judaism. There are the people who came from Poland, Russia, and Germany. And those are the Jews who practice Judaism that after World War II were taken from Russia, Germany, and Poland, and were given land by the Allies, the US, England, France, Spain, Russia. They were given land, or land was stolen from the Palestinians and given to the Yiddish, which people in modern days call Israel, or the Israelis. Now, if you actually follow the Bible, the Israelis are the people of Israel. And Israel is a child or the Jews are the line of Judah, which takes you back further into the Bible, Isaac and Ishmael. But the thing is, I'm not one for political correctness most of the time. And so I'm not willing to go ahead and sugarcoat a lot of stuff, because people need to understand reality. And so when people want to talk about, oh, the Palestinians are attacking the Israelis, well, we really need to understand who's really who. And in modern day conversations, the Israelis were given Palestinian land. And it was said back in the Gaza Strip War, I want to say 1968, that was, okay, Israel had conquered, Palestinian land. And that's where that war took. But virtually every single day, the Yiddish are taking more and more of Palestinian land. And so the analogy I gave last week or 2 weeks ago was, there comes a point when a man says, I'm going to stop you, or I'm tired of you raping my wife and my daughter, and I'm going to fight back. And it's virtually the same thing with the African slaves. I'm tired of you doing this. I'm going to get up and fight back. And so with Hamas being labeled a terrorist organization, what did they do? They said, we're tired of you stealing our land and treating us like second-class citizens. And again, the Yiddish people in Israel are taking Palestinian land day after day after day. So do I have sympathy for the Yiddish? And so it is a matter of, am I for the people? I have nothing against the people themselves. But let's be honest. For the Yiddish to say, this is my home, okay, this might be where your address is, but it wasn't your address 2 weeks ago. A Palestinian lived there 2 weeks ago. But you're living on stolen land. Much the same as when the colonists here in the North America came over here and stole the land from the Native Americans. So on what people call Columbus Day, I call Indigenous Day. This is their land that we're living on. Mm. So again, it's a matter of what people want to say it is and what is reality. So let's keep that in mind. What is actually real and what the victor says they want to make it as.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
That's my perspective.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All righty, let's see what's next. Over 5,000 killed in Gaza Strip. Almost 5,100 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip since Israel's bombing campaign was launched after an attack by Hamas inside Israel more than 2 weeks ago, according to health officials. About 40% of the 5,087 people killed are children, Gaza's Ministry of Health said on Monday. It came as the Israeli military said that in the past 24 hours it had struck at least 320 targets in Gaza, including a tunnel housing Hamas fighters and dozens of command and lookout posts. Now, that's a lot of people have died already in, I guess, 2 weeks? And that's really, really sad. Yes, Hamas did a terrible thing on October the 7th. They really did. It was atrocious what they did. But, Netanyahu has gone into overkill. He's killing all of these civilians, Palestinians, and even attacked a church, the Christian church, and got all the Christians over there upset, and the Christians over here are getting the blame for being complicit, and it's really crazy. And now other countries are getting into it. On the northern border of Israel, they're exchanging fire with Hezbollah in Libya. I mean, not Libya, but Lebanon, and in Syria. And your United States have several ships over there and aircraft carriers. And I think China has a few ships over there now, and it's really getting nasty. And it's going to get worse out here. It's going to get worse. So what do y'all think about that one? Angela?
I think it's sad. All these people just losing their lives.
Yeah.
I think it's sad. Do something that would bring some type of resolution so that people don't have to keep suffering and losing their lives.
Yeah. But the thing is, the world leaders want wars. They make a lot of money off
That's
wars.
crazy.
Yeah. And Netanyahu,
But they can make a lot more money trying to save their citizens and building up. I'm looking at not too long ago, Biden. They say he sent $100 billion, not million, but $100 billion. He's awarding $100 billion to Israel. Like, we don't need that money here in America.
Yeah.
With all the people sleeping up on the bridges, people losing their houses, rent going up. I just heard somebody say a lot of people in Atlanta, because of the rent going up, they've started staying in storage buildings.
Really?
Now, if this is going on here in America, then I think we need to be taking care of home instead of trying to send all the money over there that we don't have already. Don't have.
Yeah.
But it's
And
just
they
sad.
never take these billions from the billionaires that can afford it. They always take it from the working class people. That's what really ticks me off.
Right.
Now we're supposed to sacrifice, but all the billionaires, they don't sacrifice nothing. And their kids and grandkids and relatives don't go off and fight these wars. It isn't right.
If you're not a billionaire, you're either gonna be a billionaire or you're gonna be low class. They're not even gonna have a middle class after a while. The rate we going, either you're gonna be with money or you're gonna be without money.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be a middle class no more. And that's the way we headed with the leadership that we have now.
Yeah. You're right. Lamar?
I was thinking with what Angela started with, and that was, we have all this happening. What's the point? And I was thinking, what's the motivation? And the motivation is land. And again, it's property, and this land is not their land. You were mentioning how there's all these people fighting, and the death toll is not insequential. These are human lives. And, I understand the killing of the fighters, the Hamas fighters, the tunnels and such. And that's perfectly good military tactics. That's what you want to do. But the killing of hospitals and killing of hospital buildings and churches, those are technically off limits from the Geneva Accord.
Yeah.
But Netanyahu, or what's his name? Not Satan. Vladimir Putin. I forget which person's which. I'm kidding. But they're doing the same thing. And they're both doing it for land. And what's the point? the one is doing it to to try and bring back a group of property that'll never exist again, and the other one is doing it to take land that was never theirs. So it's both of them are delirious. And the US is complicit with Israel. And they're just sitting back saying, we support Israel, which makes us part of the evil empire that Netanyahu has. So I'm sorry for the 5,000 or 5,148 that were killed. It's just a sad set of figures that we're having to look at, and it's not going to get any better because we don't have leaders that are willing to stand up and say, we're going to go in as peacekeepers and stop this.
Yeah.
Sending in war machines is not going to stop the war. It's just going to escalate it. We need to stop this. And we clearly don't have leaders with the cojones to say this ends now. We need to stop this. What you're doing, Benjamin, is wrong. What you're doing is wrong. And it's been wrong for over 50 years. You need to stop.
Well, as we know,
That's all
the
I have.
politicians are bought off, just like, a lot of the companies, large corporation presidents, the big, powerful families and billionaires, royalty, who have billions and billions, that really make all the decisions. They tell the presidents and the prime ministers what to do. They tell the big corporation bosses what to do. And that's, war is profitable for all them people. They own these big companies that make bombs and missiles. And, it's money in their pocket. I mean, a bomb costs, how many millions of dollars does a big bomb cost? I don't know. But, if you own the company that makes that bomb, you're going to make a big profit. So you want to sell all them suckers. And they can only stock so many of them up, and they need to use them, get rid of them. That's repeat business.
Right. Yeah.
And let's see what else is going on. Now, here's where it really gets scary. Middle East could eventually go nuclear. Is it possible that the war in the Middle East could eventually go nuclear? If the fighting could have been limited to just Israel and Hamas, I think there would have been 0% chance of Israel using nuclear weapons. But now it appears that Hezbollah, Syria, Iran, and potentially other parties are likely to get involved too. And that means that Israel will literally be fighting a war of national survival. And if it gets to a point where the Israelis think that they could potentially be overrun by their enemies, they aren't going to leave their most powerful weapons on the shelf. At this point, everyone knows that Israel has nukes. However, fighting Hezbollah would truly be a nightmare scenario for the Israeli government. Hezbollah possesses at least 130,000 missiles, and they are far more powerful and far more sophisticated than the missiles that Hamas has been using. And that right there is getting really scary. I mean, we know Hezbollah is really a proxy of Iran, and they have unlimited financial resources. They've got over 130,000 missiles that are a lot more powerful and far more sophisticated than what Hamas has. So, when Hezbollah really gets into it, and they're already exchanging a little bit of fire with Israelis now. So when they really break loose and get going, now that's when it's going to be really, really scary, and Netanyahu is going to panic. You know, so it very well could turn out to be nuclear. It very well could. And once it goes
Yes.
nuclear, there are no winners. There are no winners. We all lose.
No. No.
What do you think about that? Lamar, you want to go first on this?
Okay. The Secretary of State for the U.S. was at the UN today, and I'm not a big fan of listening to him, so I didn't listen to him. But he was there asking for help, and I totally agree with you, Steve. If Hezbollah gets involved with this, then this war is going to just explode. And I'm not meaning as a pun, but it really behooves us for the U.S. and I'm not saying the UN, and I'm not trying to say that we go it alone, but the U.S. has to get involved. And just sending our Secretary of State in, going back and forth to talk to Netanyahu is one thing. We need to step up and get involved and just stop this. And to do it is for us to put troops on the ground and simply forcefully go public and say, Benjamin Netanyahu, you need to stop. And we need to let the Palestinians know that we hear them, we hear what they're saying, we understand their plight, and they need to give up the hostages. And we are going to start helping them with their issues. And it's no more just sitting back and letting Netanyahu and the Israelis run shotgun over them, or I can't think of the right word. Just ride over them, because the problem is the stealing of land and territory, which is the same thing. But Israel needs to give the land back, which is what Netanyahu will not do. And the U.S. needs to stand out publicly and forcefully let the world know that they're going to help support the Palestinians in their plight, and to show proof to the world that we mean we're going to literally support them. And that's going to take a lot of hits from both sides of the aisle, but it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And that's what Michael would need to hear as a new way of thinking.
Yeah. What do you think, Angela?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna pass on this one.
Okay. Looking through news articles now, it's hard to find something that's not related to the war. So it's just so many different angles, so many different ways to look at it. This one says fears of a widening and regional conflict. as the Israeli forces massed along the border with Gaza on Sunday ahead of an expected ground invasion. Escalating clashes on Israel's northern border with Lebanon, as well as strikes in Syria and in the Israeli occupied West Bank, intensified fears of a widening regional conflict. Leaders from nearly every party involved ratcheted up their warnings, and many urged civilians to move out of the way. Israel dropped leaflets telling Palestinians to leave northern Gaza and relocated Israelis living along the border with Lebanon. The United States ordered some diplomatic personnel to leave Iraq. Lebanese civilians have also fled their villages, fearing Israeli shelling and the possibility of a new war. Israel's military said on Sunday that increasing attacks from Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militia that controls southern Lebanon, had resulted in civilian and military casualties. Israel said it was moving residents from an additional 14 villages near the border with Lebanon to safer areas and expansion of its evacuation plan. You know, like I said, there's so much in the news about this, it's hard to find any news articles that doesn't have something to do with this. And it kind of seems like every article that we read, it's kind of rehashing all that we've said already. But that's the reality of what's going on. You watch the news on TV, that's what it is. And everybody is trying to find new angles and new ways to look at it. And this year, you know, the United States ordered some diplomatic personnel to leave Iraq. So you know good and well that Biden is getting very scared. Now, this is talking about Iraq, and that's several miles away from Israel. I forget how many, but it does not border Israel. But it is in the same region. If they get into it again, just like Hezbollah, Iraq gets into it, it's going to be a whole new ballgame. So there's just so many possibilities for this all to just go crazy. You know, it's like the perfect storm brewing, and something's going to break loose.
Okay.
So what can you say?
They say it always gets worse before it gets better. And that's what it looked like it's headed. That's what they say. It get worse before it gets better. So I guess we just have to ride it out and see what it's gonna be. But it don't look like it's getting no better. No way that you look at it.
It doesn't.
And it's
Lamar?
Well, the question is now, how or what are the intentions of President Biden? Where does he stand? What are his convictions? Because it really needs, it's one thing to say, hey, well, let's call back our personnel, you know, let's pull back our people. But the fact really is this is a hotbed of tension. And is he really willing? Because he's only got two options: to do nothing or do something. And doing something means to go ahead and stop this war before it begins. Because is he really going to step in and prevent this war? He has to step in now and prevent it, because what he, if he does not prevent this, he's now looking at bringing us into a regional war that has us fighting against Iran. And that's what we're looking at. And so, knock on wood, he doesn't go that route. And he literally has to say to Netanyahu publicly, I don't care what network he goes on, but he has to publicly say, do not go forward with your plans. He has got to publicly state that to the world and say, do not cross this line. And literally say, we're not with you. As much as the world, we keep talking about, we support Israel, we support Israel to defend itself. Okay. But Israel needs not to start this war. And we will provide defensive weaponry, weapons to defend itself, but not aggressive weapons, because they cannot be the aggressors in this situation. If they start attacking others, there will be people calling this a holy war, and then this takes on a whole new dimension. So President Biden needs to leave the White House, and whether he needs to go to Israel or not, I'm not certain. Probably just go to New York and go to the UN and declare the UN, but does not back Israel in a war. That would probably be the best statement.
I don't think he'll ever do that. I think he's going to constantly say whatever Netanyahu wants, that's what we'll do. It's like he's doing with Zelensky. So I believe Biden wants these wars. He wants them. In my opinion, he pretty much provoked Putin into taking over Ukraine to start with. He kept pretty much accusing Putin of doing it for a month before he even done it. So, I believe Biden,
Steve, if
instigating.
And just continue, if Biden was to say, we don't support you.
Uh-oh. Where did he go, Angela?
Yeah, you must have had the back. Yeah. Well, so he was saying Biden, you were saying Biden need to do something. Well, he just condemned Hamas with the $100 billion that he's given Israel. But like you say, he want the war. I believe that too. Yeah. Because evidently they getting some kind of they getting something out of this. They going over. He keep giving money, so he giving money. He got to be getting something out of this. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I just don't understand.
Well, Biden and Zelensky could have made a deal. I'll send you all these billions of dollars, and you can stash away some of it in your account and some of it in my account. And a few years down the road, when I'm out of office, we can just start spending this. It's possible.
I don't know what they be doing. They can be doing all kind of stuff behind closed doors. We don't know. We don't know the conversation these people are having. Because he showed throwing around a lot of money, and he got a lot to say. But That's all
I think
Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar is trying to get back in here. There he is. You're back.
Hmm.
What happened, brother?
You must have been going to say something good. They trying to hush him up.
Can you hear me, Mark?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you want to say anything else on that before we move on? You kind of went away midstream.
No, no, I'm not sure where we are. Are we on item 4?
We're still where we were when you disconnected.
We said on the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
You
just
were finna
simply
say something.
saying, I'm not sure if you caught me.
And they tried to stop you from saying it.
Yeah, I was simply.
You got helicopters.
censored.
flying over.
Right.
Mhm.
I was simply saying that if Biden was to say that we would not support Netanyahu if he was the aggressor, then it might force Netanyahu to think proactively of using the nuclear weapon because he would feel cornered. So he would definitely need to talk to him seriously about being very cautious on starting a war, because it really is going to be Netanyahu who's going to advance to advance a war to start. And I do know that a lot of persons would say, well, hey, Hamas started this. Yes, technically you're right. But Israel began this from the beginning. They're the ones continuing to take Palestinian land. And are the Israelis willing to give Hamas back their land? No. So it's really up to Netanyahu. But Hamas has to give back the hostages. That's without question. They have to give back the hostages. And the sooner they do it, the better.
Okay, let's see what else we got going on. Hamas militant reveals horrific instructions given before attack. In a chilling revelation, a detained Hamas militant has detailed the horrifying instructions given by commanders before the attack on October the 7th. The information was obtained from a video of the terrorist interrogation, which provides a graphic account of the assault on southern Israel. The terrorists described the preparation and coordination for the attack, including the use of a Telegram group to communicate and share videos during the massacre. The militant acknowledged that while Islam forbids the killing of women, children, and the elderly, the directives from Hamas commanders were starkly different. They were given a free rein to commit any act they desired, with the understanding that they were on a suicide mission and should not expect to return. The video evidence suggests that the militants were given coordinated, specific plans to infiltrate Israel and unleash terror on the civilian population. This shocking revelation underscores the brutality of the conflict and the disregard for human life exhibited by the attackers. Wow. That sounds like ISIS, doesn't it? They done pretty much the same thing. So it's, I don't know. I just feel
Yeah.
like we're saying the same thing over and over and here. But it's horrible. It's horrible what they done, and it's horrible what's happening now. So I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest with you. What do you think, Angela?
Yeah. I just say much prayer. We need they were that something would touch their hearts because these people got cold hearts. They
Yeah,
got cold hearts because it's too many people losing lives and too many people suffering at the hands of people wanting to be in control because that's what it all boils down to, control. They want to control stealing land and all of that. That's control. They want control, and it's sad. It's sad that all these people are losing their lives behind land and people feeling that they got to be in control. They got to have power.
yeah. Lamar?
I think it's interesting what you highlighted, Steve, how the persons were given directives which was in total conflict with what the Quran says. Because
Yeah,
it does say that those that save a life have saved the world, and those that kill a life have killed humanity. And the actions of the terrorists have done exactly that, terrorized, which is the definition of a terrorist, is to terrorize. But these are to be holy, these are to be people of God, but clearly they weren't, because they went and did exactly against what the Holy Scriptures say. And um, you're not going to find yourself in a garden of positiveness. You're going to be finding yourself in a pit of hell. But I have no sympathy for them, no sympathy for them at all.
yeah,
And I have no sympathy for the leaders that talk them into doing this, because these people that committed the act um, may have been brainwashed, but the commanders certainly weren't brainwashed. They knew what they were sending people out to do, and that was wrong of what they did,
yeah,
the leaders themselves. But then that's what we do as well.
yeah,
We people of leadership know what we send out our people to do, who are self or people of low will. I think that's the right word, low will. That's all I have.
okay. All righty. U.S. inflames war throughout the Middle East. As I look at this and I didn't realize today when I was picking all these out that every single one of these articles is about that same war. And to be honest with you, I'm getting tired of talking about it because it's so depressing. And no matter which way what article we read, it's still talking about the same atrocity, the same
Same thing.
evil people doing evil things. And I've had enough talking about the war for one night. Is that okay with you? Huh?
Okay.
It's okay with me.
Okay.
So what else is going to Shirley something else
Okay
is
with
going
me.
on? I hear Britney Spears has a new book out. If anybody cares. Oops, she done it again, right?
So she's
Her
in
and
the news
Jada. Her and
again?
Jada Pickett got one out. Jada Pickett.
Oh yeah, she
She has a new book out
That's
too.
it. Yeah. Oh, she does it again.
Yep, she got a new book
Jada's
out.
talking a lot, ain't she? I read some article that said her and Chris Rock had a thing going. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it said. And would give Will another excuse to hit him, wouldn't it? Oh,
She
well.
claims she never got over Tupac. They've been having a field day.
Yeah.
They've been having a field day. Like it's all kind of stuff. Like it's all kind of stuff in the news.
Yeah.
It's just they've been having a field day making little memes, them little characters out of her in because you know she don't shaved all her hair off now. So they put her face on Tupac's body.
Really?
Yeah, they've been doing all kind of stuff. They've been showing out.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but remember though, she shaved her head because she has a hair condition.
She
So
was
it
going
wasn't
through
done
She
life.
supposedly
as a-
has alopecia. Supposedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I'm not
you know
quite
that's
sure how
because
that's
she has an
different
issue.
from model, but it looks like the same thing to me.
Right.
So how do I know if I have a alopecia or not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I
But
just
I never saw
it's just
her
my
hair.
hairstyle.
I never saw her hair falling out in the little. No, a lot of people that suffer with alopecia, they have patches of hair with fall out. They don't have any eyebrows. They don't have lashes. They don't have none of that.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, most people they are like that most of their lives. It's not just something that they grow into over.
well,
But
let's talk about what you've got going on, Angela. What you got going on?
well, right now I am working on book number 70. It is a collaboration project of poets, book of poetry. It's going to be the last book of our series entitled Silently Hurt and Inside, Hurt No More, which is bringing awareness to Black mental health and wellness. So I have 40 people that's sharing inside of this book. I have 2 young ladies out of Nigeria that's going to be sharing. And we are ordering those books, and currently they have us listed as a top new release. So I'm excited about that. So I'm just asking everybody to continue to support. We are number 18 currently in poetry anthologies. And the book hadn't even dropped yet. So I'm just asking everybody to continue to support us. And if you want to vote for me, I have been nominated to be a part of the Fab 40, which is bringing awareness to breast cancer and just being healthy. So I am currently number 7 in my group. They're going to be doing another elimination on Thursday. The top 15 of each group will move on. And I'm just out here just trying to make a difference. That's how I'm just being a light for somebody that may be in the dark. So you always can go over to Linktree, collaborations, and check me out.
Okay.
Of course, I'm always gonna be right here on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. As long as
All right.
Steve invite me, I'm here.
All
And I
right.
thank y'all for just setting up this platform and allowing me to be here. Thank you.
So I'm over 40. Can I join that thing that y'all going over 40?
I don't know. I think it's just for women. I think it's just for women.
Oh,
I haven't seen no men on there. I
what if I tell you I
think it's just
identify
for
as a
women.
woman? Will that qualify me?
Because we have an opportunity to win $40,000, a vacation, and a spread inside of a magazine. So yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Okay.
Hey Cheryl, thank you for jumping on. Important.
Lamar?
Well, thank you for this evening, Steve. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Angela, for being here with us. With me, I am the founder of tutorsforyou.org. We provide live online tutoring for children and adults worldwide for $5 an hour. We have classes that are from accounting to yoga. The backbone of our service are our tutors. Our tutors are exceptional, skilled, experienced teachers, not high school students, not college students, but actual teachers, teachers that have been teaching upwards of 30 years, and we currently have 15 doctors. We have classes in accounting to yoga, from preschool to college prep, GED classes, computer classes, finance classes, special needs, mental health, computer classes, 30 different language classes, math, science, history, music, art. We have over 100 classes. So if you can think it, we probably have it. And we're here to help you. As the private schools offer tutoring, or tutoring services offer classes for $30 to $300, we are a nonprofit. So our classes are simply $5 an hour. And if you can afford a cup of coffee, you can afford our service, and you can get an excellent education for a cup of coffee. So everybody have a blessed night. Thank you. And we are a 501c nonprofit, and we do accept donations.
All right. And you can check me out at Linktree/Steve Holder. Yeah. Okay. Or SteveHolder2020.com. And hello to
Linktree
Cheryl.
backslash.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Hello, Tamala. Tamala, you're supposed to be in here on the panel, dear. But hello to you anyway. All righty. Well, that's all we got for this evening. And thank you, Angela and Lamar. As always, good to have you here. Thank you, Cheryl and Tamala, for coming into the chat. We're ending earlier than usual tonight, but we've covered all we can cover about that crazy war, and we're tired of talking about it. So good night to you, and good night. I hope to see you again Thursday.
See you Thursday.
All of you for joining in. Glad to have you here. So good night to everybody. Take care of yourself and take care of each other, and have a blessed week. Adios.
Yes, sir.